Aquarius workshop, the illusory fear of self-hate. I start with a quote from Pathwork Lecture 218 with the title, The Evolutionary Process. And the quote is as follows. When you no longer fear and hate yourself, you will not fear and resist the journey. You will go with it. When you have nothing to fear in you, you have nothing to fear of the journey of life, of change. To the contrary. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 218. The emotionally immature consciousness is in a state of half-sleep, where it does not know who it really is and where it blindly fights against what it hates within itself. The fear we harbor of this self-hate is based on illusion. Fear and delusion are the same. All destructiveness is related to fear. Self-hate arises from fear. It leads to fear, and it maintains that fear. Fear freezes and paralyzes the flow of life from the divine center. Out of guilt and shame, we hide what we fear most. Precisely because of this hiding, we exacerbate the destructive attitudes we hate most in ourselves and believe at a deep level that this is our true identity. And until we face and accept our self-hate, we project that self-hate onto others because it is too unbearable to become aware of self-hate. And the more we place that hate outside of ourselves, the more we lose our grip on truth and reality, and the stronger our self-hate grows. We should let the universal self help us resist the temptation to give in to that illusory fear of self-hate. We must learn to listen to the inner, destructive child, hear its expressions calmly, and feel all the emotions. If we are willing to face the fact that at some point we have denied our good feelings and deliberately turned them into bad feelings, then we come out of the pain of our self-hate. The guide lovingly says in Pathwork Question and Answer 225, when we see your struggle and your searching, we are with you. And when we see your often unconscious self-hate, we cry for you and with you, for it is unnecessary. End of quote from Pathwork Q&A 225. In this workshop you will explore with a love and curiosity 3 themes of the Pathwork Lectures regarding the illusory fear of self-hate. The first theme, illusion arises from confusion. The truth, which always contains love and unity, is that it is courage, humility, and the will to take responsibility for ourselves when we forgive ourselves for our imperfection and at the same time are willing to face, accept, and feel through the neurotic childish aspects. However, self-hate and giving in to all impulses both stem from cowardice, from pride, and from a lack of responsibility not to want to change ourselves, but to demand that the world and other people must change. The next quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 94. In your confusion, you see in each of the 2 alternatives, self-acceptance and forgiveness versus the will to change, a positive and a negative side, and therefore you cannot reconcile the 2. You are afraid of forgiving yourself because you fear your own craving for self-indulgence. You also fear to face fully that which is harmful also to others, because you fear the whip of your own self-hate. Once you can truly perceive that this alternative is an illusion and exists only because of your confusion, two apparent opposites will become one whole without any negative involved. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 94. The second theme, choosing the correct identification. When we feel guilty and unhappy due to self-hate, it is important to know that we are identifying with the aspect of us that is not purified and hates itself. But the moment we courageously perceive, acknowledge and accept the destructive aspect, this is the self with which we may safely identify. We then feel that the negativity is an aspect of it and not the hidden ultimate truth. The next quote stands for Pathwork Lecture 195. When the self experiences itself as real only in the lower self, it cannot give itself up. The refusal to do so is the misplaced will to live. You live in the illusion that beyond your most negative aspect, nothing of you exists. You feel real and energized only when the negativity and destructiveness manifest, no matter how much the environment curtails it and forces you to experience this energy only inside of yourself. The outer deadness and numbness seems the result of having given up the evil, but it has not been given up at all, nor do you have to do so. The same energy will be reconverted and need no longer be denied. My friends, let this sink in. Your resistance to giving up what you hate most in yourself, what you know is most hateful, is due to a false identification. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 195. The third and last theme, restoring your connection to your divine core. At this time we cannot yet experience the reality of the divine self in every situation, but we have the opportunity to look at any situation in a different way by opening ourselves up to a different line of thought that we haven't tried yet. That means we must open the doors of our consciousness. For the aspect of consciousness that is trapped in the illusory fear of self-hate must find its way back by its own means, as it is not aware of its essential connection. The last quote stands from Pathwork Lecture 218. You are part of the divine plan to bring light into the void. Wherever your manifest consciousness has forgotten its connection and lost touch with its divine nature, there lies your task, which is destined to re-establish this connection. Ignorance of these principles and truths leads to hating the incomplete present state, which in turn results in hate of self, therefore fear of self. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 218. I wish you peace and all the best. Thank you.